Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Welcome back to the Jeff Crilley Show, the final segment. I'm excited about this. KD Conservatory. It used to be called KD Studios back in the day, and my guest is Dennis Bishop. He heads up the film and motion picture side, if you will, of KD's Conservatory. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
Now, Dallas, well, first of all, tell us the history of KD, because this is not a new company.
No. KD was created in 1979 by Kathy Tyner. She was with the Kim Dawson Agency, and they realized that there was a need to help a lot of their models. Dallas was growing as a modeling area through Kim Dawson and others. And then after a while, that they decided to open up the school. I may not be telling exactly right, to do that. And then that evolved into acting. And then that evolved later on, about 14 years ago, I think, into musical theater. Along the way, they became an accredited college, 2-year. We're also accredited 4-year, but we just stick with the associate degree level. And then in 2009, I was asked to come in and create a film program. We called it motion picture production, but it's really, it's film.
Well, you're a modest guy. As we were coming up the elevator, you didn't want to brag on yourself, but I'm going to force you to. You've had a hand in some major pictures and television shows. Give us a little bit of your bio.
Well, I built my career here in Dallas. I didn't want to move to L.A. I had small children. I had children at a very young age. So back in the 1970s, Dallas was pretty much a huge industry town, a union town, and I was sort of the alternative, independent filmmaking. So about that time, Robert Redford and Sterling Van Wagenen created the Sundance Institute, and through a friend of mine, they asked me to get involved. So I became involved with Sundance here in this area. I was able to filter, introduce a lot of people to them, and then they asked me to get involved as a resource advisor. Then I'd go to the summer workshops. That would lead to meeting lots and lots of people in filmmaking, and then I'd work on their projects. Meanwhile, back in Dallas, there was no film commission. I became the de facto film commission. I had a van, and the Texas Film Commission people would call me and say, would you take these filmmakers around, which I would do for nothing, no pay. But, I was trying to bring industry to the town. I felt committed. Plus, it did help my career as well because I met a lot of people. But it's just who I am. I mean, I tend to give back, and we do lots of things even at the school. We work with the Girl Scouts, teaching film festivals, you name it, we do it. And it's just what we do. I feel it's very important to pass it forward, and that's where I am in my life.
All right, name us a few of the shows and TV.
Well, the ones all right, well, years ago there was The Trip to Bountiful, which won an Academy Award. I worked with 2 projects with Horton Foote, who did To Kill a Mockingbird and various others. Wow. I worked with him trying to put together a whole series of 9 plays. For years I worked with Horton. And then I worked on, at HBO, we sort of reinvented television. When they hired me from here, moved me out there. They wanted to make my kind of films, they said. And then I realized I was in over my head. The woman I worked for, head of the division, kind of protected me for 6 months so I could sort of come up to speed in an industry town. And then we changed TV. It was where, at that time, if a feature actor worked on a television show, their feature career was over. HBO changed that. And we were making projects that nobody else would make. They couldn't be made in features. Nobody'd buy a ticket. They couldn't be made on television because it was too racy or whatever. Not racy, wrong word, but it's about AIDS or about various other things. And so we brought television people and feature people together, and we had to kind of teach them how to make films because they had different. We had to the feature film, we had to bring them down a little bit, and the TV people pump them up a little bit and say you got to do a better job. And so we made all these films, and I'm proud of them. And the band played on, Barbarians at the Gate, Texas Cheerleaders, and then the film about the thalidomide babies. And then from there, I went on and worked for all the major studios. I was a producer on the pilot for Dexter. I oversaw the first Fast and Furious.
Wow.
I told him I'd do it if my name wasn't on it. But the film was in trouble, and the producer was a friend of mine, the studio execs, friends of mine. They asked me to come in and said they'd treat me like a producer. I said, fine. So I had to come in, assess everything, figure out what was wrong. They wanted me to fire all these people. They didn't need to be fired. The studio was making the mistakes, so we fixed them all, and it moved forward to be what it is.
Well, thank you for sharing that bio with me, because I think one of the things that really separates KD from some of the other schools out there is it is real top talent teaching.
Yes.
Talk about that.
I say 98% of our instructors in all 3 programs are working professionals, so they're in the moment. And especially now with digital, it changes by the minute, by the day, that you need that. If you have instructors that have just been taught through school, through whatever, and they move up and they're not out in the world, how do they know? And it's too fast for me. But then, as a producer, I have people,
Right.
People who know all those things. And I have an amazing faculty. I've been with the school, most of them, in my program since the beginning. And some of the instructors in the acting musical theater have been there 20, 25 years. People are very dedicated. They're very, very talented, and I think it's one of the best schools in the country. But it's hard to build a school, or it's a very small school, very select, and it's costly to get the word out. But
And I've been down at the studios many times, and they have like a wall of fame, and you're seeing movie posters, and you're seeing actors and actresses.
Right.
Hollywood will come back to KD, won't? Who are some of the actors and actresses that we would recognize that come back to encourage the young people?
Well, people come because they hear about it. Matthew Modine was here a few months ago, and he was absolutely amazing. He wanted to talk. I'd worked with him on a film, and the band played on. Mm-hmm. And we had a great time talking about, from his point of view as an actor, my point of view as producer type, and getting the film made and telling so interesting stories about how it happened. But he was going to talk for 15 minutes, and he talked for 3 hours.
Wow.
And what was interesting, he came in, and the lavalier didn't work, and we just had a handheld, and he was going, I don't know about this. As he's talking, he unties his shoes, and he puts it around his neck, and he ties the microphone and has it hanging here, and so for a while, but after that he got used to it, which is typical actor. They get used to the props. So at the end, he was about to walk out with a microphone around his neck because he had become so accustomed to it. And we're editing it now to put it online, but unbelievable.
That's a great story.
Years ago, many actors come in to talk, and we have alumni that come back, and then they have people they've met, and they tell them about the school, and then they come back. You can go to the website and see all the names. I can't remember them all right now.
Now, you have a great track record. I mean, in terms of placing people in the industry. Talk about that.
Well, the government, I don't know all the details, but the government, NAST, I'm sure, you have to have so many people employed or you lose your funding or whatever. Mm-hmm. Ability for the students to borrow money, I can't remember exactly how it works. Anyway, the last report showed that the film program had a 100% employment.
Oh my goodness.
Rating, and that means that they were able to get a job of some type. But I work really hard to try to help the graduates get work. Mm-hmm. And our school, we're very, very honest about what the realities of the marketplace, the realities of getting a job. You don't just graduate. I don't care if it's USC. I was an adjunct professor at USC. I've spoken to colleges, film festivals all over the country. You don't just graduate with a degree and go get a job. So we work very hard from the beginning to help them to understand what it takes. And we have a course in the 4th semester that is about how to get work. And they have to go out to industry events. They do their resume. They do business cards. They have to learn to network and to reach out and how to put together to raise money for films. We bring in career coaches to talk to them. We bring in lawyers about how to create a company, at the same time teaching them how to make films.
Right.
And we're very good at that.
I can't think of a better time to be in the film industry, because it seems like, and you've been in the industry for years. You don't have to go to the big studios anymore. There's an endless number of independent films, some made on very small budgets that ended up winning Academy Awards. What would you say to the person listening to this show right now, saying, "Well, should I or shouldn't I?" What's your
Well, the industry's changed a lot, and especially when digital came along, the budgets for the smaller films really went down. Mm-hmm. But that did open up a lot of opportunities for DIY, do it yourself. Opportunity to buy a decent camera, and you can make a film, with online with free software, et cetera. I mean, the camera this man is pointing at me at this very time, didn't around 5 years ago, and now it's, this Canon, that shoots, and then it's just astounding. But it's not the camera, it's who's behind the camera and the knowledge they have. So I think with proper training in a program like ours of 15 months, you really can get there. We have students coming in that have worked in the industry. Maybe their dad was making wedding videos or shooting football or whatever, and they realize they hit a plateau, and there's no one else to teach them. So they come to our school because of all these working professionals, then they can move up. We see that a lot. We have people coming to our school with 4-year degrees out of all sorts of industries, because some people view our school, it's not, but they view it as like a master's program. It's like beyond.
Right.
And then some, with the millennials, a lot of them want it now, And our 2-year or 15-month program allows you to get to it very quickly. But they have to take general ed courses, English and social psychology and biology and so forth. It's a real associate degree level.
And are you accepting applications for the fall right now?
Yes.
Or? Okay.
We just started last week, was our first week of the summer session. And then on October 2nd is the fall session. So, yes, you can call the school or go to, what is it, kdstudio.org? Oh, .com, kdstudio.com, and get information. Call us. We are very, very straightforward and honest about what it is we do, what the loans are, what the likelihood of where they will be and how long to pay it off. I mean, we're not just saying come here and we'll make you rich or make you a movie star. We're here to help you to follow your passion, and it really is up to them. Hard to work, but we're there for them. And it's very much a family kind of situation. And we have students from 18 going on 12 up to in their 40s. We have a lot of returning veterans. We have people from all walks of life, from Africa, from all over the country that come there. So that part is just fascinating. And the fact that you have the 3 programs working together, most schools don't, so you can really understand what those weirdos over in,
Well, let's talk about the 3 programs, because we've dealt a lot with film. Let's talk about the other 2.
Michael Sakyo is the chair of the musical theater program. I think it's an amazing program. Michael is absolutely amazing man. He's won all sorts of awards. He directs many shows in the area. He brings on his graduates many times. We just did in the film program. We just did Earth Day Texas show in the company I'm with. We actually filmed Vince.
Is that right?
Roundtable,
cool.
At the Texas Commerce Bank. We were talking about our Capital Bank. But anyway, and of the 40-person crew over 3 days, 15 of them were KD graduates.
Wow.
And we had a line producer that was about hiring them. I had influence, but she went with the best people, and that's who it was. And the same goes with Michael's program. He's always bringing in people from all these plays and musical theaters he's doing. And then T.A. Taylor is not only the director of the school, but also the head of acting. And he helps tremendously with these students to find agents to be able to get out and work in the community. And he does summer. He always does Shakespeare in the Park in the summer, and there's many times that there are KD grads. But we don't just reach out only KD. We also reach beyond. But we work. You just don't come to our school and graduate.
Right.
You're part of our family, and we work with you. We're now working to teach Girl Scouts how to make films in the middle school area, about to do 2 programs over at the Oak Cliff Film Festival. In 4 hours, we go from an idea all the way through to finishing a film in 4 hours to show the process. DISD, Fort Worth ISD, they're now asking their theater arts teachers to make film. They don't know how. We're going in and showing them the process. Next, we'll be teaching them. And that's spreading, that we're sharing what we know and how to do it.
Wow, this has been such a fast segment. We're going to have you back again. kdstudio.com is the website.